And yet, everything is possible in God's green earth, and how lovely, how very lovely for me that He gave me this wonderful blessing of meeting Fort Worth and falling in love with Fort Worth, and to get some of that love back from Fort Worth is just the most wonderful thing that could happen.
Is the Fort Worth experience, let's call it that, is the Fort Worth experience really unique, or does that happen almost every place you work?
Oh no, this is unique. I mean, yes, I do fall in love with places because I'm a warm, gregarious girl, and I reach out for people, and when they reach back, it's very nice. But nobody reaches back like Texans. Nobody. And there's something special about Fort Worth, too. And I think it's, you know, I've always said Texans are bigger than life itself, and so am I, and no wonder we fell in love with each other. It's absolutely sensational.
How much longer would you like it to go on?
Oh, at least another 25. At least. And when they wheel me down the ramp in my wheelchair on my 50th anniversary, won't it be grand? Because I'm sure we'll all still be together. We're too mean to die. But, I can't imagine anything more wonderful than coming back to Fort Worth to celebrate my 50th.
Ruta, of all the shows you've done, is there one that seems to stand out?
Well, you know, it's always the one that I'm currently doing that I love the most. But, of course, it is Molly Brown that is my favorite because it introduced me to this wonderful place. It brought a whole new dimension to my life that didn't exist before. And not that life wouldn't have gone on beautifully as God has provided for me, you know, in lots of other cities, but I wouldn't have had this experience, and I wouldn't have had the joy of having Meredith Willson say that I was his best Molly Brown. And that's a loving relationship that developed here. And even though he's gone, I'm sure he's smiling down because we spent some time in this dressing room right here. And his wife, Rosemary, has remained a very good and loyal friend of mine. And all of those experiences wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have known the wonderful people here that I grew up with. I wouldn't have known Joe Stecco, our conductor. I wouldn't have known you. I wouldn't have known Elston Brooks. I wouldn't have known darling Jack Gordon. And I'm hoping everybody sends him a little card at the, where is he? At the
Wedgwood
Nursing Home. If anybody thinks of it, drop him a note because he's there and he'd love to hear from you.
Is there some show that you're dying to do here at Casa?
Yes, I'd like to do either here or at the Tarrant Convention Center. I'd like to do a little night music. In fact, that would be a nice one for the opera to do here because I think Fort Worthians would love it. That's a show that should be done because that has our favorite song, Send in the Clowns, in it, which is one of my all-time favorites. You know, I've always wanted to play Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof. Nobody will let me play that part.
You're about 200 pounds too
light. My voice is deep enough, however.
Ruta, when you think back over all the shows, the 25 years in Fort Worth, 24 years at Casa Manana, is there any incident that comes to mind, something funny or just something untoward that comes to mind?
There have been so darn many incidents that, of course, you file them away under, I won't remember this until the next horrible experience, which, of course, becomes funny afterwards in the telling, you know. But, of course, back to the very beginnings, opening night of Molly Brown, a set piece that I had never seen or rehearsed with suddenly appeared as, you know, on opening night, and I had not rehearsed in it, and they were swinging doors, and I took a fly through those doors, stubbing my toe on the way, flying over the orchestra pit. I'm sure you were here for it, winding up in an aisle. How I didn't hit my face into the seats, I don't know. Yes, I do know. My darling girlfriend, Peggy King, who had preceded me in Mr. President, she and her husband were sitting on the aisle, right sort of on that aisle where I go off behind Joe, and he reached out and shoved and rolled with me into the aisle so that I didn't hit the seats. Wound up with a sprained ankle, black and blue, Dr. Etier came to give me a shot in the fanny of B12, and when I pulled down my bloomers, he thought I was into sadomasochism because I was black and blue all over, and he said, "Child, what do you do besides dance on that stage?" But you know, people don't realize that lifts and things, when the fellas grab you and grab you on the back of the legs and on your buns, you know, to get you up, boy, they hang on to the star like crazy, and that means that you've got every one of their fingerprints permanently etched, well, for a month or two anyway. So life on the stage is not easy. But oh, what a joy to hear that laughter and to hear applause and to hear, especially here in Fort Worth, that love. You can hear it because there's a murmur that happens, you know, when I come on the stage, and there's a glee. And I love, and I've told you before, the fact that there is no active defiance from the audience here. They don't sit back and say, "I defy you to entertain me." It's, "Hey, we're here to have a good time, and we're all going to have one." And oh boy, do I love you all for that.
Ruta, is there any parting word you want to say on this 25th anniversary in Fort Worth? Now, I say parting, I mean parting for this interview, not parting Fort Worth.
Considering we are going to start trying to do 2.5 more decades, all I can do is, from the very, very bottom of my heart, thank you, thank your viewers and listeners, thank the people who have patronized every theater that I've ever played in the area, for the love, the warmth, the hospitality, and above all, the blessings that you are praying for me all the time. You have no idea of how much it means to me. I hear from so many of you so often, and always at the end of notes there's a God bless you, and may He bless you back, because He has certainly blessed me with your love.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we send our love back to you. That's lovely, Ruta. Yeah, this is okay.